Hot Springs Village Inside Out is a closer look at the largest gated community in North America, spanning 26,000 acres in the Ouachita Mountains in south central Arkansas. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and some occasional guests as we explore Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Hi, this is Randy. Sponsors enable me to bring you Hot Springs Village Inside Out completely free of charge. This month, I welcome a brand new sponsor, Brandon Tedder and Renaissance Homes. Along with McGraw Realtors and Diamante Country Club, these sponsors help us share Hot Springs Village with many of you who have yet to visit. I appreciate them, and I hope you'll support them. McGraw Realtors, located in the heart of Hot Springs Village, is the fastest growing real estate office with over 30 agents and staff. Executive brokers Lori and Ken Henderson, along with realtor and waterfront specialist Rick Marshall, they're eager to share the special features of Hot Springs Village with you. For a complimentary relocation packet, call Ken and Lori at 501-276-3018 or call Rick Marshall at 501-601-RICK. They are McGraw Realtors of Hot Springs Village. Renaissance Homes builds spec homes ready for sale and custom homes. Brandon Tedder and his team make the process easy. Renaissance Homes incorporates solid construction methods from the ground up. Brandon is a certified green builder. With a fixed price approach, detailed spec sheet, you'll know upfront how much it will cost. Every job has a dedicated project manager and an in-house design expert. From permitting to landscaping, Renaissance Homes is the preferred builder headquartered right here inside Hot Springs Village. Welcome July the 1st, 2025. And yeah, buddy, it feels like July. Hot and humid. All right, let me tell you the backstory about what prompts today's show. So Rhonda goes to an estate sale a couple of weeks ago. We have a lot of estate sales here inside the village. Stands to reason. You can understand why. Some older folks, things happen. People have to move back closer to home. Unfortunately, sometimes folks pass away. Other circumstances cause people to have to leave the village. And quite frequently, the kids and the family who come in and kind of have to figure out what we're going to do with all this stuff. Quite often it goes to estate sales. I think on any given weekend, there are probably a handful of estate sales. The first part of that is unfortunate. The good part of that is most, if not all, of these things that are left behind get a new life. So Rhonda goes, and like many people, she's specifically looking for certain things that kind of hit the mark for her when it comes to her hobbies and the things that she's mostly interested in. There are other people that go to these, and it's arbitrage. They go to buy things that they can put in a booth and or sell at a craft fair. So all of that's great. So Rhonda finds something that she purchases. In fact, it was a golf bag. We've got a grandson who said, be on the lookout for a golf bag. And we're like, well, come on, it's Hot Springs Village. Where's golfer's paradise? Certainly we can find this young man a golf bag. And so she found one, and she sent him photographs of it. She sent him photographs of another one and another one, and because there were two or three. And he picked one, and she bought it. So she has a little red wallet inside her purse where she keeps, thankfully, she doesn't keep anything but cash and library cards. She did have a couple of checks that were made out to our church, made out in advance. They were made out and they were signed, but they were dated for whatever the dates were that we were going to be contributing these. So she gets out her wallet, she buys the golf bag, and comes home, and that's fine. That's on a Saturday. Come Wednesday, the following week, just 3 or 4 days later, I'm asking her for some cash. I don't carry cash. And I'm not asking for a lot, and so she goes to look for this little wallet, and she can't find it. She can't find it anywhere. She's like, surely I must have left it. I must have laid it there at the table. There's a table in these estate sales where you pay, and it's normally by the door somewhere where it's not congested. And she said, I must have laid it on the table. And I said, well, did it have any identification in it? This is before I knew what was in it. She said, well, I got library cards, but I got checks in there and they've got our address. And I said, well, either that's not where you lost it, or if somebody found it, a crook found it. Somebody that's not quite so honest found it and took the cash and dumped the rest of it. So I called the bank. I stopped payment on the 2 checks that were made out to the church. And she figures she had about $72 in it. So she lost the wallet itself, $72 in cash, and some library cards. And of course it vexed her, like it vexes all of us when we do something like that. And I said, listen, it's all good. Don't worry. I mean, come on. $72, a wallet, and some library cards. I mean, if that's the loss, I'll salute it and be thankful. It could have been so much worse, because thankfully she carries credit cards and that sort of stuff. She has a wallet kind of around her phone. She ain't losing this phone. So it prompted today's show because there is some technology that we can implement to really help us. And it's not, it transcends age. It transcends location, although there are big benefits, and I'll incorporate that in today's story, of this technology that we can afford ourselves, especially at this stage of life. I'm going to start with what probably would be the most expensive one if we had to just start from scratch. And I'm going to mention 4, and these are 4 that are really important to us. These are things that we use, and quite honestly, only one of them did we use prior. Well, that's not true. 2 of them we used prior to coming to the village, but 2 of them we began to use once we started spending more time here. The first one that we had never had before is, I'll call it a smart garage door. So we bought a home that had been built in late 22, early 23. And so it was a brand new home, and it had a Chamberlain garage door opener. This Chamberlain garage door opener was a smart garage door in that you could download an app to your phone, and with your phone, you can operate the garage door. Super convenient, really secure. Now, there is a keypad on the outside. You can reprogram that keypad to whatever you want, and we have. But the app is the killer deal. Now, your garage door has to have that technology. So that's the caveat to this first one, and it's why I'm mentioning this one first, because if you have an old garage door opener and it does not have this technology built in, okay, well, you may not want to go to the expense of that. I mean, garage door openers can be a few $100s. They can be, pushing $500 and probably higher. I haven't priced them all that regularly, but ours is a Chamberlain, and the Chamberlain app is called Chamberlain My Q, and it's a super easy app on your phone. We can open, we can close the door, we can set alerts, we can even give access to other people by way of the app. So if we wanted to give access to a neighbor who picks up mail for us and other things, then we could certainly do that. She's probably happy that we haven't done that. I prevail on this poor woman far too much. I'm the guy who, I'll have something coming from Amazon or something, and I'll purposefully wait because I know my travel schedule, and I'll purposefully wait until I'm back. And usually, like 9 out of 10 times, the delivery date is never on time. It's almost always later, a day, maybe two. No, not when I leave town. When I leave town, it decides it's going to show up. The last time I had something show up 8 days earlier than the predicted delivery date. And I'm having to text her, and I said, I'm so sorry, but I've got this thing coming. I didn't know it was coming. And of course, it was back a month or so ago when the rain was just torrential, like every day. So it wasn't something that I really wanted to just be sitting on the porch subjected to the elements. In addition to this smart app on some of these garage door openers that you can do with your phone, many of those are tied to another device that I'm not going to talk about, whose name I can't say, but she's the Amazon voice in a ball. Because she's sitting 18 inches from me. And if I mention her name, she's going to light up and she's going to go off and she's going to ask me what I want. But you know who she is. It's the feminine version of Alex. So, I think it is. But a smart garage door opener is terrific. The ability to, and this last delivery I just described, so I've got my neighbor on the phone, and I said, here, let me open the garage door for you. You just put it inside the garage door. So I open my phone, I open the app, I hit open, garage door goes up. I get a notification that the garage door has now gone up, it's open. And I hit another button after she's done, and she said, can you close it? And I said, yeah, absolutely, I can close it. So I hit the button, it closes, I get a confirmation, your garage door is closed, and it tells you what time it opened and what time it closed. So super, super terrific. Almost all of these apps allow you, like I said, to share access. They have all kinds of ability to give you notifications. They've got history. They keep logs of the activity, and many of them incorporate, like I said, with the Amazon woman who lives in the ball. Maybe you've got that. And if you don't have that, I probably should have included that in the list, but I intentionally didn't because it's hard to record a show about somebody when they're sitting 18 inches from you, and every time you mention their name, they pipe up. So that ain't great. The installation on these garage door systems, you may have a system that you just need to download the app. And if you've been reticent to do that, don't be. I mean, go ahead and do it. I'm not sure about the modules and things. If you have a garage door opener that's older, I would encourage you, get the model number, get the brand number, and do a little bit, just go to Google and just see if there is an app that you can get, or if there's some way that you could make your garage door opener more of a smart door opener. My guess is if it's too terribly old, you're not going to be able to do that. And the reason I know that is my father back in Texas, we thought, man, wouldn't it be great? Yeah, it would be great. Problem, the garage door opener's 15 years old, so that ain't happening. So I start with that one because, quite frankly, that one's the most complicated, and that's the one that likely is going to cost you the most money. And you may or may not want to do it. There may be no use. For us, because we split time, the fact that the house came with that was a big bonus, a big, big bonus. Let's go in dollar order, shall we? So now, at about $100, a Ring doorbell. Now, I'm going to there's a little bit of a side note here because you can also get Ring cameras. Now, Ring is a brand name, and there are many others. They're simply safe. In fact, Chamberlain, the garage door opener company that we've got, you can buy cameras and things even from them. So there's a whole bunch of these. I'm talking about the one that I'm familiar with because it's the one that I've had for a long, long time, Ring doorbells and Ring cameras. I did not have and do not have in Texas a smart garage door opener. So that was something that was new to me here in the village, and it's been great. It's quite often been a lifesaver. The Ring doorbell camera and Ring cameras, especially outside cameras, had those in Texas. Familiar with these video doorbells? They're just, man, they're great. They're great. The quality is superb. The caveat here is inside Hot Springs Village, you don't need it. I mean, you just honestly don't. If it makes you feel better, then invest in it. I'm going to tell you why we did. We did because when we bought the house, it was probably a year before we came over here and spent that much time in the house. We moved a considerable chunk of our possessions into the house, but we were maintaining, we had living quarters in DFW. We still split our time there. But at the time, life was such, we just weren't able to be over here. We weren't even over here every month. And so we basically had a house that we weren't in very much. So we put in a Ring doorbell in the front. We put a Ring doorbell in the back. And I put 3 Ring cameras inside the house. I don't have any on the outside of the house. If you go outside the house, you can get floodlights and you can get all kinds of contraptions, and they can run up well over $100. But these indoor cameras can be had for about $60. So what I did is I mounted one camera inside the garage facing the garage door. Now I've got the app. I can open the door and I get a notification the door's open. I can close it and I get a notification door's closed. Okay, well now I got a camera and I can see if the door is indeed open. I can see if the door is indeed closed. And I also knew that at some point I would be leaving a car here. Okay, great. I can see, okay, car's good. Everything's good. Additionally, we have, everybody does, with your air conditioning system, you've got this overflow. So if all that condensation and stuff that your air conditioner pulls out, if the drain were to be clogged so it doesn't mess up sheetrock and whatever else, you've got this kind of this overflow drain. Now in Texas, that always ports to the outside of the house. Okay, I discovered that here it can be fairly common for that to be inside the garage. And the argument is, let's put it somewhere where the homeowner will notice. Because it could be dripping on the outside, which means you've got a clogged drain, and you need to address that, but you got no awareness of it because it's somewhere on the side of the house, it's somewhere in a corner on the outside, and you never do look at it. So I get that, but that camera also helps us see, okay, no water. We ain't got any water dripping from that little port that comes out of the ceiling. So all of that's good. In addition, hot water heater is in the garage. Okay, if something were to happen to the hot water heater and all of a sudden there's water everywhere, well, I'm going to see that on the camera. So there's the camera in the garage. And again, these are about $60. Really high quality, full color. Additionally, we put one that points to the outside to just woods. And the reason I wanted that is because when I wasn't here, I wanted to look at trees. I wanted to look at woods. It's purely for my entertainment. It's got nothing to do with security. It's just because I wanted to. And then we put one in the den that really overlooks the wide open area of the house. It overlooks the den, the dining room, the kitchen. All of that is in one shot, and we can see the house. And again, that one was less about security. It was more, look at this house. We could be there right now. Trust me, we did that a lot. And so those are the indoor cameras, 3 of them. So the one that looks over the woods from the inside, the one in the garage, and the one that overlooks the main area of the house. I could put others. I don't need to. Ring doorbell on the front, Ring doorbell on the back, which gives you a whole wide view of everything. So five cameras. I think we spend about $10 a month. It's not any more than that for the annual ability to capture these recordings. The recordings we can go back, we can look. The recordings are saved for some period of time. Don't make me tell you how long, because I don't know. But it gives us the ability to incorporate as many of these devices as we want, and we can access them. Rhonda has it on her phone. I have it on my phone. We could go to a computer, and we can go to ring.com, and we can log in, and we can see all of our cameras. We can see everything live in real time. And if somebody came and rang the doorbell, our phones would give us notifications. It doesn't matter where we're at, as long as we've got cell or internet connectivity. Our phone would give us an alert. Somebody's at the door, and they have rang the doorbell, and now we can talk to them, and we can listen to them, and we can see them. They can't see us, but we can answer the door as though we're home. They have no way of knowing. And that's cool. So all of that, I mean, $100. So we've probably got all in. We've got $100 at the front door, $100 at the back door, and about $60 each. So that's what, $180. So for under $400, we've got 5 cameras with live and recorded history and the ability to talk back and forth from front door or back door. Well, quite frankly, we could do that from any of the cameras. But it's especially helpful for the front and the back door. Well, it's pretty stinking awesome. And again, that also can be incorporated with stuff. You can share that with my sister. We have Ring cameras in my dad's house back in Texas. He lives by himself. He's 101. And they're not invading his privacy, but we have them strategically in the house so that we can see him. Because if he fell, we can find it, we can know. So it serves that purpose as well. So that's a terrific technology for us, especially at this stage of our life. The next one has to do with entertainment, and I also had this one in Texas, and it's a Roku device. Now, there are many others. Amazon has what's called a Fire Stick. There are others that escape me. Google's got one. These are streaming devices that connect to your television. Many smart TVs, in fact, every TV today is going to be a smart TV. All that means is the TV is going to have apps built into it. I personally, and I've got smart TVs, but I still use Roku. And the reason I use Roku is I just like the interface. I probably just got used to it and spoiled to it, but I like it. I like it a lot. And I'll tell you the huge advantage. The huge advantage is traveling back and forth. A smart TV that does not have a plug-in device that has these apps on it, or you can install these apps on it very easily. Well, you can't take the TV with you. Well, you could. It'd be kind of hard to take a 65-inch TV with you on the road. But the little Roku stick that plugs into the TV, I can take that with me to hotels anywhere I want. And I can take my TV, my YouTube TV, my Netflix, my Amazon Prime, whatever else I subscribe to. I can take all that with me anywhere I go. And it's just a little small stick that sticks into the back of the TV. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. You're talking about $30 to $100. About $30 to $100. Now, I understand that many of you do not stream your television. You still do cable, or you do direct TV, you do satellite of some sort, or your direct TV may be streaming, but the interface, it's like you've always had it. It's no different than cable. And I do understand that can be easier for some than others. My dad comes over to see us, and he's like, man, you got a lot more TV than I got, a lot more choices than I've got. And I'm like, yeah. He said, well, I need to do this. And I said, yeah, now he's 101. And I said, it's too cumbersome. It's too cumbersome. The learning curve, it would frustrate you. And so we keep him with DirecTV. It's like cable. But the Roku streaming devices are really, really awesome, and any and every app that you want. In addition, the great thing about smart TVs and even Roku devices and devices like that is there are a boatload of free things. My dad lives on, there's like 2 free Western channels. You don't pay anything for them. You just download them. You search. John Wayne movies from the 50s. This man has seen every John Wayne movie thousands and thousands of times, but he still wants to watch them. Well, they can be hard to find, but these dedicated Western channels, guess what? That's what they've got. It's all Westerns all the time. So for a man like him, honey hush, it's great and wonderful, and he loves it. The Roku I like because you can customize things. You can set up the home page kind of like your computer. Here's where I want things. Here's where I want to find things, and you can do that. And they're ridiculously affordable. $30 to $100 for the device. Now, this does not include subscriptions. This is merely a device to play your subscriptions. So if you have Sling TV or Hulu or Disney Plus or ESPN Plus or YouTube TV like I do, okay, you got to pay for all those. But all of those come through this one device, and like for us, it's one really simple remote. Forget those 4 buttons down at the bottom. I don't use those. But I use all the other buttons. Here's the other cool thing. I've got one of these, and it's toward the $100 range. I got one of these hooked up to the TV in the den, the one that my dad sits in front of. And it has, on the side of it, it has a headphone jack. Plug headphones in. He's really hard of hearing. So we plug the headphones in. He wears the headphones, and he can hear it perfectly fine. Here's the other great thing is when you plug the headphones in, it kills the sound on the TV. So when the rest of it, when Rhonda and I are working or whatever else, and the TV's going, he can have it as loud as he wants to. It's all in his ears, and we can't hear it. So that's pretty cool. And that's for $100. And there's a bunch of other features that you get that I won't dive into, but Roku devices or something like that, especially if you don't have a smart TV or you have a smart TV, but you do a lot of traveling and you're thinking, I'd kind of like to take my YouTube TV with me. And all of your logins and all that stuff, that's all saved on the device itself. So I take it to a hotel. I'm visiting friends or family. I got a TV. I plug it in, and presto changeo, as long as I'm logged into whatever their internet is, I'm good to go. It's pretty terrific. Roku. All right, that leads us to the last one, the final one. And this is the smallest and the least expensive, and this is the reason that I began with the story about Rhonda's wallet. This is a device made by Apple. I'll show it to you. It's really small. It's called an Apple AirTag. These are location tracking devices. Now, we've also got, you can get these little key rings, and they've got a little silicone kind of pocket here, and you can insert it in that. You can use it as your key ring if you want, or you could attach that, or you can hide these. You can put these anywhere. These are location tracking devices. Now, the rub is iPhone. You need an iPhone. If you are not in the Apple iPhone ecosystem, all bets are off. But these are called Apple AirTags, and they are $25 a piece, so they're cheap. They will allow you to track these tags. People use them on pets. People they hide them in their vehicles somewhere. So if your car got stolen, you pull it up on your phone, and it's like, okay, where's my car? People put them in golf bags. Things that you think, okay, that could get stolen. Or I could lose this. Enter Rhonda and her wallet. Now, she didn't have one because this wallet didn't have all of her credit cards and stuff. Does she have one? She has one. Is she putting one in the wallet now? She is. She is. Because if you lose your purse, or if you lost, just think of anything that you might lose, anything that might be at risk of you losing or it being stolen. And you can put this. You could hide this somewhere in the trunk or anywhere in your car. You can put it on anything. So I've got a backpack that I will take when I see clients in person, and it's got my laptop. It's got hard drives in it. I mean, my professional life is in this backpack. Well, yeah, I got one hidden in that. Now, what's the likelihood that I'm going to leave that behind somewhere? Nil. But the likelihood that I'm somewhere and I'm in some room and I'm in front of the room and my backpack is at the back of the room and somebody walks out with it, the odds of that, while maybe kind of sort of remote, it could happen. And if it did, my world collapses. So I could pull out my phone. I could check, okay, where's my backpack? And I can track it. And for $25, I mean, give me a break. Now, there are privacy things, and you have to agree to these. It doesn't mean that you can't use these for nefarious reasons. You could. But they are designed to track objects. They are not designed to track people. And they do have terms of service. And no, you don't want to violate those terms of service. They don't give you real time. Like the Ring cameras, you can click live, and your camera goes live. You can see exactly what's happening in the moment. These AirTags don't quite work like that. This is not real-time GPS tracking like you see in the movies with private eyes who, they put some device up under a car and now they pull it and that's not what these are. These don't allow that kind of monitoring, that kind of in real time. And the reason they don't is because of all the privacy, concerns that there are out in the world. But they're great and they're terrific and they are easy to use. The app is ridiculously easy to use. They are simple to set up. It takes all of 10 seconds to set these things up. So Apple AirTags. In fact, I can tell you, because I did look before I hit record, like right now today, you can get 4 for the price of 3. So if you go to Amazon, I don't have any affiliate links or anything, but if you went to Amazon and you buy a 4-pack, you can buy a 4-pack right now as I hit the record button. You can buy a 4-pack for about $75. So they're even cheaper. They're even cheaper than $25. And if you have an Apple iPhone, I would highly encourage that. So there's 4 technologies that for us have made a big, big difference, and they're very practical. I'm going to throw one more in. Let's throw a bonus one in, because this one's not stupid money. It's still under $100. Well, it can be. They start at about $80. But I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this one up, because this is another one that until we moved to the village, we didn't have. We had programmable thermostats in our house, and you likely have the same, as opposed to the old one that you just turned it to the temperature you wanted, and that was it. But you couldn't set it at a certain time to do this or a certain day of the week to do. You couldn't do any of that. Most of us have thermostats that are a little bit smarter than that, where we can program them. But the real smart thermostat, much like the garage door opener and the AirTags, we can control from our phone. Yes, we can program it to come on at a certain time at a certain temperature and to keep that temperature for a certain period of time. We can do all that. But in addition, we can just pull things up on our phone, and we can operate it like we would be standing in front of it, even if we are hundreds or thousands of miles away. And that's pretty cool. So for somebody like us who splits time, so we can set the thermostat. I mean, here we are in the summer, and the thermostat may be set on 75 degrees, 74, whatever it is. And that's just, when we're here, that's just how it is. We don't tend to run ours up and down. We just kind of leave ours alone. But if we leave and we're going to be gone for a weekend, or we're going to be gone for 4 days, okay, well, let's turn this up. Okay, what do you want? 78? I don't know. Pick a number. And we can leave it on that. Now, when we're headed back, by the time we get off of I-30, headed toward the village, I'm getting my phone out and I'm running this thing back down. I'm going to have this house cooled off by the time we pull in the driveway. That's super awesome. There are energy savings that can be had because you can operate these things based on, it absolutely is less expensive, and our bills bear it out, for us to not keep the house as cool during, say, a 3 or 4 day stretch when we're not here, as opposed to just keeping it that cool even though we're absent. I mean, why do that? There's no point in doing that. We don't have anybody in the house. We don't have any pets. So there certainly can be energy savings for that. In addition, these things do have other monitoring capabilities. Ours, for instance, will show us the humidity range. And maybe like us, maybe you have a dehumidifier, which can help immensely in the summer months. It's amazing how much water these things can pull out of the air, isn't it? I know many of you, you've got these in your crawl spaces in your basements, understandably for good reason, but I'm just talking about a whole house one, like in the main area of your house. It's amazing how much water in a 24-hour period it pulls out of the air. But, that's another device, but we're not talking about that one. The smart thermostat, about $80 and up. You can get as fancy as you want. You can spend way more money than that. I think the one that I've got. And of course, you'd have to have one for every unit that you have in your house. We've only got one unit, so we've got one thermostat. And the app on the phone is great. It's super easy. It tells you what the current temperature is. You can look at it and you can know because it lights up blue. Okay, it's on. It's running right now. The air conditioner's up. It's running. And if you want to change it from cool to heat, you can. If you want to change it to auto, you can. If you want to turn the fan on and the unit, anything that you could do while you're standing in front of the thermostat, you can do on the phone. And for $80, give or take, hard to beat. So there's your bonus item. The technology that maybe you just don't yet know you can't live without. Okay, well, you can live without them, but it makes living so much more fun. Hot Springs Village, InsideOut.com. That's the website. And after all, we came here to live. We didn't come here to die. My name's Randy. See you. Thanks for watching Hot Springs Village Inside Out. You'll find all our episodes at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com or on YouTube.